stops, no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, wherever you are. It is about 10 to 6 here in BC. The vigil starts in about just under 15 minutes in Calgary. So I want to thank everybody for being here to watch this together as a community. I'm not really, so I had to change my setup a little bit because I don't have a green screen, as you can tell, like my hands disappear and stuff. But I wanted to have this Calgary Tower behind me. It was lit up blue for Parker. That is normally done for memorials or to celebrate or big important things that go on within the city of Calgary and sometimes in the province and even sometimes in the country. So it's not everyone who gets the Calgary Tower lit up for them. And so it's a very nice way for the city to show support for Parker's family. So I wanted to have that in my screen today. You guys can see up in the corner here, this is the live stream that we'll be watching, so we can continue chatting until that starts. But I started a little bit early so that I could say hello to everyone. Let me know if my sound and everything is okay. Let me just double check. Yeah, right microphone, right mic, everything seems to be good. I know the top of my head is cutting off, but it is what it is. Share Cares, thank you for being here. We will come for justice, absolutely. Hey Lynn, you're going to pretend you're standing with all of the people there. Thank you for being here. Kimberly, good to see you. Prayers to Parker's family. Marie, I'm glad you could make it. TJ's mom, hello. Rest in heavenly peace, sweet Parker, where you're surrounded with unconditional love and peace. Sending my heartfelt condolences to Parker's family, as we all are. Belinda believes, thank you for being here. Love and prayers for sweet Parker's family. Justice for Parker. Helicopter, thank you for joining today. It's going to be a rough one. I know that they do have some speakers that are going to talk. Good evening, Sinister. Good to see you. I hope future searches start a couple of miles out and one start at beginning and work till all meet in the middle and then in the same spot. And who else? One person in chat when Parker was found mentioned there being a gate or grill on the culverts and can't remember who it was. What an awesome idea. Yeah. Though there will be changes made, I can almost guarantee it. Daisy May, thank you for being here. Hello, April. Thank you for joining. I don't care if you're good with it or not, but April wanted to go to the vigil today and take flowers or something from all of us. But sadly, she has COVID and she's not able to do that. But fortunately for us, she was able to find out that the memorial that is in the City Hall Plaza is going to be there permanently. So I am traveling down in a couple of weeks for my grandson's birthday, and I will take a trip down to City Hall Plaza with show of support from us, and hopefully April can join me when I take that down there. Sarah, thank you for being here. Who else? Anybody? I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody. I'm further away from my screen. Angelina for Justice, you changed your name. Thank you for being here. Tamaru, hello. My culverts all get blocked. Debris without anything in front, they flood. I'm stuck home till it gets down or call county. Yeah, that happens a lot here too. Hey Roots, good to see you. Helicopter, thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. 10 to 10 there, you guys. Just really quickly, while I've got a minute, tomorrow we will be live streaming in the evening with Belinda. So hopefully you can catch that. And Gypsy Flo, hello, good to see you. Who else? Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. And Mustang, hello, guys. Good to see you. Michelle James, Parker's family are in my thoughts. Sammy Miami, thanks. Haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. Hey, Grey Wolf. Rest in peace, Parker. We're driving back to Edmonton from Saskatchewan. My service is in and out, so annoying. If I cannot figure out how to turn the ads off on the replay of this live stream, I'm just going to download it and upload it as a video, because I don't want ads on this video at all, because usually I just whatever. The live streams, we don't have ads, but the replay does. And I don't know exactly what I do to not make that happen. So if I can't figure it out, then it'll be just up as a standalone video and I'll just have the ads turned off. Thank you. I've lost count of how many times now. We don't test anymore at work, but I did have some tests here, so I thought I'd check out of curiosity. Can't be too careful working. No kidding. Absolutely no kidding. Anastasia in Cleveland, thanks for being here. And hello, Rob. Thank you for joining tonight. See, we still have 6 minutes before the vigil starts, I guess. I took a quick spin out to Vernon today just to check out the situation in the fires, and I didn't see any flames. So that's good. Still so smoky. So smoky, and nobody's been allowed back home yet. I heard that over 200 people have lost their homes. That's including on First Nations land and people who are not members of the band. So it's a very sad situation still. I've got COVID. I'm feeling better today than yesterday, but I'd hate to run into any of my family, etc. down there. So I'll be watching the vigil with you all instead. I appreciate you being here. And the last thing you want to do, because you know that there's going to be vulnerable people at this vigil, and you don't want to expose anybody to whatever it is you have. So I respect that very much. What else? What else? I don't want to get into anything because I don't want to be, I don't want to be disrespectful to what we're doing here tonight. So I don't want to go off and talk about anything else. So if there's silence, I apologize, but this is about Parker. It's not about anything else. Yeah, the fires they're pretty bad. Like I said, I didn't see any flames this time going through, but so much smoke, it wouldn't surprise me if I just can't see the flames through the smoke, because it's that bad. It definitely affects you, especially like being a smoker. It really, it's not good. I feel really bad for people who have respiratory issues and they have to live and work and, you know, just breathe in this. Oh, it's terrible. Caprice, thank you for being here. Parker, Calgary's Angel, yes. Sweet, sweet boy deserved an Amber Alert, and I keep saying it, and I mean it with my whole heart, that had there been an Amber Alert sent out within the hour, he would be home. He'd be home. None of this would be happening. So, again, if you guys have not signed the petition on change.org for that Indigo Alert, please go and do that. If you can donate. If you can't, don't worry about it, but at least do your signature. While the memorial is playing, I will go ahead and get that link again, just in case you haven't done that, but definitely it's an important one. It's just as important as Darius's Law, but completely different. Darius's Law is shooting for the moon and hoping to land among the stars, with changing like Amber Alert reform nationally. Indigo Alert is for vulnerable children, autistic children, nonverbal autistic children, people with disabilities who aren't able to communicate, which in my mind is any child. They can't, you know, communicate effectively if they need help. So I will get that link and I'll put it in the chat for everybody, and hopefully everybody will go and sign it. Super important. Like I said, just as important as Darius's Law. If you haven't signed that one either, go to my community page and find it, because it's just as important. Wouldn't that be something if we can actually promote change? Okay, so here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and make it big. Mute myself. I guess I can't mute myself because my microphone issue, but they're not at the mic yet, so don't sweat it. Oh, they're gonna play music, you guys. The music's not gonna be able to. It's probably not gonna play. So just, you know, I'm so sorry. I understand, Little Black Bear. That was incredibly emotional. I hope you guys could hear it. I was playing it through my phone.
Bonjour, and hello, neighbors. Welcome here to the Municipal Plaza and everyone who's watching online for our Vigil for Parker. It's in the spirit of community and coming together that I want to acknowledge that we're gathered today on the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 7. Indeed, they have been gathering as a community on these lands since time immemorial to mark occasions just like the one that we're here to experience together tonight. I want to start by thanking New West Music and Arts Society for starting us off in a good way with that song for Parker. I'm DJ Kelly, the counselor for Ward 4 here in Calgary, and I'll be your MC tonight. Perhaps I should say that when we first were planning this event, I wasn't sure that I would be appropriate as an MC. But when I look around the crowd here tonight, I'm not sure that any of us were the right people for what it is that we did. Some of us stepped up to search, others struck out on their own, others made signs, or indeed searched their backyards and garages as we were requested to do so by Calgary Police. But we all helped in the way that we felt we could because we are a community who looks out for one another. From Edgemont to Cambrian Heights to Thorncliffe Greenview, the people of Ward 4 were at the center of the search. And I know that many of our neighbors were and still are hurting. The search for Parker did not end the way that we all hoped that it would. But that does not change the fact that so many of you showed up when your community needed you. Just as there is no right or wrong way to have been involved over the last few weeks, there's no right or wrong way tonight to process this vigil. We know that this is not Parker's funeral. That is something for his family to experience in the way that they want to experience it. Tonight is for the community. Tonight is for you. But is this a memorial service, a wake, a celebration of life? I'll be honest, I don't know. And I think that that's okay. We all experience things differently, and I encourage you to embrace that as well here tonight. If you feel sad, it is okay to cry. If you feel some joy at what you hear tonight, it's okay to smile and potentially even laugh as well. None of us will judge you for whatever it is that you experience tonight or that you feel is right. Actually, on that note, I want you to take a look at the person in front of you and behind you. Make actual eye contact. And now I want you to look at the person to the left and the right of you. Again, make some actual eye contact as well. You might know one or two of these people, but I'm guessing that you probably also don't know one or two of them as well. Today, as we gather as a community, in community, I want you to know that those people are here to support you. Just as they were here to support Parker. But also, please know that they may need you to support them too, just as Parker did. We have 4 speakers tonight, and while they have some things to share with us, in between their time, we have readers here to share some comments from everyday Calgarians that were collected in advance. If you feel that you have something that you too would like to share, I encourage you to visit one of the tables on the edges of the plaza, where you can write a note to Parker or to his family, and we'll make sure that those messages are made available to them. Let's move on with the first speaker that we have here for us tonight. As you know, the search for Parker involved many, many people. Although we had members of the Calgary Fire Department, Calgary Search and Rescue, RCMP, Conservation station officers, and many more. It was coordinated and led by members of the Calgary Police Service. Our first speaker of the evening, I'd like to introduce and bring to the stage the Chief of Calgary Police, Katie McLeod.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you to Mayor Farkas, Councillor Kelly, Becky Wilmot, Kim Pressett, and representatives from the autism community for standing alongside members of our city this evening. Over the past few weeks, Parker's name became known across our city, our country, and beyond. People who have never met him looked for him. They shared his photo. They checked their yards and the garages. They followed every update. They hoped alongside his family. As Chief of Police, I've witnessed many difficult moments in this city, but in my 35 years of policing, I have never seen a response quite like the one we saw for Parker. What struck me most was not the size of the search. It was the care, commitment, love, and compassion. It was seeing people leave water bottles, goldfish crackers, and other snacks outside, hoping Parker might come across them. It was neighbors putting up posters. It was businesses sharing information. It was volunteers giving up evenings, weekends, and countless hours because they wanted to help. Those were not big gestures. They were deeply human ones. They came from people who saw a little boy they had never met and wanted him to know he was not alone. Tonight is a chance for us to come together as a city and acknowledge everything that has happened, everything that we have felt, and everything that we have carried together over the past few weeks. There is no right way to feel, as the councillor said. What happened has affected many people differently, but it has affected all of us. I think that is because Parker's story touched something very real. It reminded us how deeply we care about one another and how quickly complete strangers can come together when a family needs support. Throughout the search, I had the privilege of watching members of the Calgary Police Service work alongside partner agencies, volunteers, and community members. I saw people give everything they had, sometimes on their days off. I saw determination. I saw humanity and kindness. I saw people leaning in and learning so much about Parker and his family. And I saw people refusing to stop caring. I also want to acknowledge Parker's family. No family should ever have to endure what they have endured. Throughout this unimaginable journey, they have shown extraordinary strength, courage, and grace. Our thoughts continue to be with them today and every day moving forward. The outcome we all wished for was not the one we received. It is heartbreaking. Parker will always have a special place in the city. But as difficult as these past weeks have been, I hope we do not lose sight of what this community showed us. People came together without being asked, expecting nothing in return. We saw Calgary at its very best. My hope is that the spirit we saw throughout the search does not end here tonight. That we continue to look out for one another, that we continue to support one another, and that we remember the sense of connection that brought so many people together. Hug your parents, your partners, your children, your colleagues, and your friends just a wee bit tighter tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting one another. And thank you for showing Parker, his family, and this entire community just how much people care and what a great city we have. Thank you.
Good evening. It's our honor to share some remembrances collected from within the community.
Parker, we never had the chance to meet you, but you taught us that love can extend far beyond the people that we know.
Parker's life and the love so many people have shown for him reminded us that kindness still exists. It reminded us that complete strangers will stand shoulder to shoulder, searching, praying, hoping, and refusing to give up on one another.
Because of him, strangers became friends, communities became united. Thousands of people were reminded that every life matters and that no family should ever have to walk through hardship alone.
Parker's legacy will be measured by the number of lives he touched and the compassion he awakened in others. May we remember him with love. May we honor him with kindness. And may we carry his legacy forward not only in our hearts, but in our actions.
Parker, you are woven into our lives. We cherish you and the quiet, beautiful difference you bring. You've shown us what true humanity feels like and reminded us to focus on what truly matters.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mark and Helen, and Chief McClellan as well. I think as we come together, we realize the fact that we all have a role to play in making a community. And sometimes that role is small, sometimes it's big. Our next speaker is someone who saw a need and simply stepped up in the same way that so many of us gathered here today did the same thing. Our next speaker is the creator of the Find Parker YYC Facebook page, where so many of us gathered. Indeed, I think the final number was about 28,000 of us who had joined that Facebook page, where we were able to share search tips, share where we were looking, share ideas, and generally support one another. I think it's appropriate that our next speaker here is the woman who also helped kick off this event by seeing a need for us to be able to breathe together in community. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Becky Will.
Go figure, you guys. Facebook isn't toxic all the time.
My name is Becky, and I have been asked to speak about the outpouring of support and coming together of a community. First, Parker's parents, family, and friends. My heart breaks for you in the loss you have suffered and the pain that you endure. When the city first learned that Parker was missing, we all immediately jumped into action. Online, there was comment after comment asking, how can we all work together? I thought to myself, well, it's easy enough to create a Facebook group where everyone can work together. Well, work together we did. Within 24 hours, Find Parker YYC had around 10,000 members. Within 36 hours, it was over 25,000 members, and eventually came to just under 30,000 members, all with one goal, to bring Parker home. The willingness and desire to help was palpable across the city. There were comments asking, can I help search? And there were comments asking, how can I help if I can't physically search? And how can I help support the volunteer searchers? Again, I thought to myself, I can go to a location close to the search in order for people to bring donations for the volunteer searchers. I just need to sit at a table. It felt like the whole city converged on the back parking lot of the community center. The turnout was immense. The searchers, donations, and offers to help throughout the day never stopped coming and continued every day until Parker was found. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people who helped in many ways, and I wish we could mention all of you, but know that every single volunteer searcher, donator, social media sharer, traffic cam watcher, and well-wisher's contribution was equally important and impactful. Some just happened to be more visible than others, but in no way less meaningful. The deep dedication and love for Parker and his family you have all shown is awe-inspiring, and words cannot describe the sincere thanks and appreciation for each and every one of you. I would like to take a moment to thank some of those volunteers whom Find Parker YYC worked closely with. Thorncliffe Greenview Community Center. We showed up on Sunday unannounced, and you provided space for the volunteer pop-up every day forward. Your steadfast commitment and dedication to Parker and his family was well felt throughout the city. Sonia, Bugan, Mark, and Jalen, you all came on day one and thankfully never left. You helped with such dedication and support. You made the volunteer pop-up possible and gave it the ability to continue each day of the search. I will forever be indebted to you for all of your generosity. Throughout the time the volunteer pop-up was available, there were many volunteers who helped, whether it was giving out food and water, answering volunteers' questions, or packing up all the donations at the end of the day and unloading them again the next. Your contributions are so appreciated. The amount of people who brought donations of water, food, hay, flyers, and posters was shocking, but at the same time not surprising, as Calgarians show up in big ways. A group member pointed me to the searchparker.org website, and at the time I did not know who created it, but it was shared in the group and it turned out to be one of the most valuable tools the volunteers had access to. I later learned that they created it, and his willingness to make any change requested, including adding the family search plans and keeping it updated as they changed, along with adding more tools every day to help guide volunteer searchers, was remarkable. The site brought in somewhere around 80,000 unique hits, and we will never forget the impact that interactive map had on everybody's ability to search for Parker. In the words of Nick, when people heard that Parker was missing, something very different happened. They did not simply think how awful and continue with their day. Separately, individually, and yet somehow all in unison, they recognized that a child was in danger and they chose to respond. To the volunteer searchers, some of whom we saw each and every day, some we never saw at all, and some of whom came from outside the city. We are humbled by your perseverance, dedication, and love for Parker. You searched in extreme conditions with the heat and the smoke, and you did so with unrelenting determination. There were 2 printing companies who reached out and stepped up in a very big way. Brentwood Printing and Copy Retro. They printed as many maps and missing posters as we needed, many times with very little notice. They never once hesitated, and the response was always, whatever you need for however long you need it. Thousands and thousands of print jobs for volunteers to cover the city with, all free of charge. It was truly amazing. I would also like to thank Councillor Kelly. When I reached out and needed direction and approval to find a place to hold a vigil that can accommodate the outpouring of support for Parker, he didn't hesitate to go to council and administration to see what they could do and how they could help. The immediate willingness from Councillor Kelly to help plan and from council and administration to handle logistics was heartwarming and deeply appreciated. Over the last 2 weeks, I have looked at every comment in the Find Parker YYC group to ensure focus on the search efforts. Over the last few days, however, I've looked over every comment in a different lens to pull out words of strength and condolences to be read tonight, to try and highlight how much Parker has touched the lives of so many. I wish we could reach each and every comment that wished they could will Parker full of life, and each and every comment that grieved alongside the family and with each other. We have helped, hoped, prayed, and refused to give up. We have lowered our flags, lit our power balloon, and mourned publicly and privately. I cannot put into words how deeply this community, locally and otherwise, cared for Parker and his family, and I am so very proud to call Calgary home. To share a few words from Renfrew Educational Services, when Parker went missing, the Renfrew community was deeply affected, and many staff members dedicated themselves to daily searches. We are heartbroken by Parker's loss and humbled that his family chose to recognize our work supporting autistic children and their families, and to name us as an option for memorial donations. Our hearts are with Parker and his family and everyone who loved him. In closing, I would like to speak to the families. Thank you for trusting this community to help you. Thank you for trusting me to provide messages to the community on your behalf. Thank you for sharing your love for Parker and sharing his beautiful soul, his contagious smile, his intelligence, his love for music, water, animals, and swings. Our belief is that he will help shape the future for children with special needs, especially those with autism. Parker cultivated extraordinary kindness in ordinary people. Your compassion for others and concern for their well-being when your days are dark shines a light on what Parker and your family brought forward in all of us. Unwavering commitment to each other. An entire city and beyond is mourning a little boy who most of us never met but fell in love with. And it is my most sincere hope that you are feeling the entire city and beyond wrapping around you in a blanket of that love in the most difficult moment of your lives. You have said that thank you doesn't seem like enough, but for all of us with you, it is more than enough. Thank you.
And now some further remembrances from the Calgary community.
Parker's story broke our hearts, but it also reminded us of what's possible when we reconnect with one another through compassion and kindness, setting everything else aside to show up for one another.
Parker's smiles, hand claps, and Peppa Pig snorts lit up the classroom. Parker will forever be in our hearts. He will forever be in the hearts of those who worked with him. Our hearts break for his family. Love, Miss Jennifer.
To Parker's family, the courage it takes to face this moment is immeasurable. May you feel in the silence the weight of an entire community standing with you. And may you find in time a peace that is beyond anything words can offer.
People who had never met him prayed for him. They searched for him. They hoped for him. They worried for him. Calgary searched for Parker as one. Calgary hoped for Parker as one. Calgary grieves for Parker as one.
Parker led us to places we had never explored. He inspired my heart to be kinder and to see the world with love and hope.
Thank you. Thank you, Norma and Braden, and Becky. We really appreciate all of those words. When we think about what brought us here tonight, I think most of us are probably thinking about the search for Parker. But I want to recognize the fact that if not for other circumstances, we could be here tonight specifically talking about the community coming together to search for Johanna Matamoto. Johanna, a similarly autistic nonverbal girl, went missing in July from her community's house in the southeast community of Legacy. The main difference between these two stories is that while Johanna also passed away in a storm pond, she was found very quickly. We need to remember as we're remembering here together that these are individuals who lived full lives. Lives that many of us here may actually be jealous of. Just because you may be a nonverbal autistic child in both of these cases does not mean that there isn't life on the other side. And while we're here talking about the search we also want to recognize the lives of these individuals. One of the places where children with disabilities can come together to experience some of that joy of life is an organization called Between Friends. They offer a lot of camps for kids, but I will let our next speaker tell you a little bit more about that. Please join me in welcoming our next speaker, the CEO of Between Friends, Kimberly Presser.
Good evening, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Kimberly Presser, and I've had the privilege of working with the disability community as part of Between Friends for just over 20 years. I didn't begin my journey at Between Friends as the CEO. I began as a summer camp counselor for children with disabilities. I was just a university student looking for a summer job. I thought I was signing up to make a difference in someone else's life, but I could have never been more wrong. The children, youth, and adults I met at camp completely changed my life. What started as one summer became another and another until 20 years has passed. Somewhere along this route, Between Friends stopped being a summer job and became my purpose. Camp has a way of changing people. It teaches you to celebrate progress instead of perfection. It teaches us to slow down, to see the world through a different lens, to find joy in the smallest moments, and to recognize that belonging isn't about fitting in. It's about being welcomed exactly as you are. The people that I have met through Between Friends have forever changed the way I see the world. Over these 20 years, I've come to believe that some of life's greatest teachers don't stand at the front of a classroom. They blow bubbles with you at camp. They celebrate the smallest victories with the biggest smiles, like stacking toys as high as they can and then laughing as they crash them to the ground. They remind you that it's perfectly acceptable to break into a Disney song at any moment. They remind us to slow down, to notice the things that truly matter, and to find joy in the moments the rest of us are often too busy to see. There is something I wish everyone understood about the disability community, especially about those who are neurodivergent. Too often, the world begins with what people can't do. We measure milestones. We make comparisons. We talk about diagnosis before we talk about people. But that isn't what we see. We see children who laugh with their entire bodies. We see young people whose excitement is so contagious that everyone around them starts smiling too. We see friendships that are built without judgment, and we see incredible curiosity, complete honesty, fierce loyalty, joyful humor, and love that is genuine and unconditional. We see people who remind us that there isn't one right way to communicate, one right way to make a friend, or one right way to experience the world. Because at the end of the day, every person communicates, every person connects, and every person belongs. Sometimes success looks like a child joining a group activity after watching quietly from the sidelines for weeks. Sometimes it means realizing that the biggest accomplishment of the day wasn't winning the game, it was simply putting on a life jacket, trying a new craft, making eye contact with a new friend, or simply feeling safe enough to be exactly who they are. Those moments may seem small to the rest of the world, but to us and to their families, these are everything. The disability community reminds us every single day that there is more than one way to experience joy, friendship, connection, and belonging, and Parker was one of those people. Parker joined Between Friends in 2023 and became part of our Camp on a Venture family. Like hundreds of children before him, he came to camp to explore, to laugh, to build friendships, and to experience a place where he could be simply himself. He reminded us that joy doesn't have to look the same to be real. That friendship doesn't always need words. and that every person deserves to be welcome, accepted, and loved exactly as they are. Over the past few weeks, we have witnessed something extraordinary. Thousands of people, many who have never had the opportunity to meet, searched for him, shared his picture, walked neighborhoods, stood along riverbanks, offered meals, comforted complete strangers, and refused to give up hope. For 2 weeks, this city became one community. In a world that can often feel divided, Parker reminded us of something we so easily forget. Compassion still does exist. People will show up for one another, and every life has the power to bring out the very best in each of us. 20 years ago, a summer camp changed the way I saw the world. Over the last 2 weeks, Parker changed the way our city sees it too. My hope is that we never forget what we have seen, that every person deserves to belong. Every family deserves to be supported, and every person deserves to be seen for exactly who they are, not for their diagnosis, but for the joy, love, and light that they bring into this world. Thank you, Parker.
The greatest tribute we can give Parker is to make this world a safer, more understanding, and more compassionate place for every child.
These last 2 weeks gave us something we won't forget. Strangers came together to search for a little boy most of us never met, walking side by side, refusing to give up hope for him.
When Parker went missing, Calgary stopped being just a city of over 1 million people. For a time, it became one community united by hope.
Parker helped our community open up and have real conversations about autism and all differences, how everyone sees and feels the world differently, and how we can support people in our community who need extra gentleness, understanding, and love.
He reminded us that kindness is still alive. He reminded us that compassion has no boundaries. He reminded us that in times of darkness, people will still show up for one another.
Thank you, Helen, Braden, and Norma. And Kim, thank you so much for sharing some of the perspective of what it's like out at Camp Bonaventure with Between Friends. I can only imagine how amazing it would be to see all of those kids come together and everyone at the camp working together. Reminds me a lot of what we've all experienced here both tonight and throughout the last couple of weeks. That ability to come together to serve our community. The search for Parker involved a great many different people who have the ability for their full-time job to actually be community service, whether it be Calgary Police, as we mentioned earlier, the Calgary Fire Department, the City of Calgary's mobility team, the City of Calgary's parks and open spaces team. Everybody stepped up in the way that they could. And at the top of that organization is one individual who sort of embodies that willingness to serve your community. Our next speaker, I'd like to introduce to you Mayor Jeremy Farkas.
Lucky I am to have something that makes
saying goodbye so hard. Those words were made famous through Winnie the Pooh, and they feel especially meaningful tonight knowing that Parker loved Disney. Good evening, everyone. We gather tonight with broken hearts. We gather tonight to remember Parker, and most importantly, to gather to surround his family with love. And we gather to remind one another that even in our darkest moments, we are never alone. As your mayor, people often expect me to make sense of moments like this. The truth is that I can't. I don't know why this happened. I don't know how to make sense of the loss of a child. And I don't believe anyone truly can, because the death of a child, especially a child so beloved like Parker, it'll never make sense. No speech, no title, no words, none of that is ever going to change that. But what I do know is that Parker mattered. His life mattered, it still matters. And his family isn't alone. And neither is all of you, neither is this community. And as we've heard emphasized so many times, over the past 2 weeks, we saw Calgary at its best. We saw thousands of people answering the call, search and rescue volunteers, police officers, firefighters, community organizations, neighbors, professionals from across the province. And I do want to take this opportunity to acknowledge that tonight we have Deputy Premier Mike Ellis from our provincial government who is here with us today. And I'm going to thank you sincerely for working so closely with our Calgary Police Service. We saw complete strangers. We saw all of these many thousands of individuals giving their time, giving their strength, giving their hearts. And we have all of us, we refuse to stop hoping. And that matters. And that compassion matters, because it reminds us of who we are. A tragedy like this shakes every parent. It shakes every grandparent. It shakes every one of us who loves a child. It shakes an entire city. And if your heart is aching tonight, mine is too. Calgary is hurting together. And I want to briefly say to Parker's family that Calgary stands with you. Calgary loves you. And sincerely a thank you for allowing me and so many others, complete strangers, to be involved in this. I can't imagine the vulnerability and exposure that you feel at times like this. And I want you to know that our city will walk beside you in the days ahead. We are never going to forget about you. And it's moments like these where it's easy for us to ask whether goodness is still stronger than darkness. And over those past 2 weeks, Calgary answered that question. Whether goodness is still stronger than darkness. We answered that question. All of you here today, and many of thousands of people watching, all of us answered that question, because we saw neighbors helping neighbors. As it was said, we saw strangers searching through the heat, through the smoke, long into the night. We saw thousands and thousands and thousands of people refuse to give up on a little boy that so many of us had never met. Love showed up. Hope showed up. Calvary showed up. And that is the Calvary that we know. That is the Calvary that we believe in. So tonight we grieve. But tomorrow we get to choose what comes next. And I can't speak for everybody in this amazing city, but I see at least 1,000 of us here tonight. And I think we choose to love more deeply. I think we choose to look after one another. We choose to be the neighbor who shows up. We choose to be the stranger that helps. We choose, and this is a choice, it's intentional. It's not for granted, it's a choice. We choose to build a city where every child, like Parker, is safe. Where every family is supported. And everyone knows that they belong. That's going to be Parker's legacy. Not just the heartbreak that we're feeling tonight. That's going to be Parker's legacy. The goodness that he inspired. The compassion that he awakened. The unity that he brought to the city. So all of you here, let that be our promise. That we leave here a little kinder. We might not have all the answers. We don't need to, I don't think. Let's all leave here a little more grateful. Let's leave here a little more willing to answer the call when somebody like Parker needs us. Because that, all of you are the Calgary that Parker deserves. And that is the Calgary that we're building together. So rest peacefully, Parker. You brought our city together. And how lucky we are to have had someone that makes saying goodbye so hard.
The legacy Parker leaves behind is not measured by the tragedy that took him from us. It is measured by the extraordinary outpouring of love that surrounded him.
It is measured by every volunteer who laced up their boots and joined a search, every person who shared a post, every organization that offered support.
Every candle lit, every prayer spoken, every tear shed by someone who may never have met him, but felt connected to this story.
Parker brought out the very best in Calgary. He showed us what it means to care for one another. He showed us what a community can accomplish when people come together with love, determination, and hope.
His name became a rallying cry for compassion, and his memory will remain a symbol of unity for years to come.
As we mourn the loss of Parker Wells, let us also remember the incredible spirit of togetherness he inspired. Let us continue to look out for one another, support one another, and hold our loved ones a little closer.
May he be forever remembered, forever loved, and forever a part of the city he united.
We're almost at the end of our program, but before we move on, I need to thank some people who made tonight happen. First and foremost, Becky Wilmot for identifying the community need and getting the ball rolling. Thank you again to our speakers, our other speakers, Chief McLennan, Kimberly Presser, and Mayor Farkas. I also want to thank our readers today, who were Mark Bellamy, Helen Knight, Norma Lewis, and Braden Griffiths. And I want to thank all the Calgarians who took the time to share the words that they were shared with us today. Also, a big thank you to the City of Calgary facilities team and the web team and the Ward 4 office team, as well as CinAV. And finally, a thank you to New West Music and Art Society, who, in a moment, will have one more song to share with us to close out our vigil. Before we do that, we do have one more speaker. It's actually just an audio message. So we really need everyone to listen very intently and be very quiet during this. And as we listen to this message and the choir after, I want you to remember the people at the beginning that I asked you to look at. Those people are around you, are here to support you, and you are here to support them. We are a community that has shown how we care for each other. So, as we end our time here tonight, I want you to embrace that responsibility now. Ask if it's okay to hug a stranger who you think may need it, because we're all here for each other today, just as we were during the search for Parker, and how we will be in the future should any Calgarian need a hand. I'm going to ask the choir to file in at this point. And I'm going to thank all of you for coming today and for being a part of our community. We'll just give a moment here for the choir to get set.
Oh, Harley.
Should any of you need in the next little bit want to share any additional messages for Parker? I'll remind you, you can do so on the tables at the edge of the plaza. I'll also acknowledge that there are tissues at those tables as well, should you need them. I have some here. I'll be taking this with me. Now that the choir is set, one final message for you all, and thank you and good night.
Hi, I'm Parker's mommy.
Hi, I'm Parker's daddy.
Thank you everyone for joining us today at Parker's Vigil.
One of the biggest things we want to say is like a huge thank you again, just for never stopping. Calgarians, you guys kept looking, you kept searching, and will help lead us to finding Parker.
Yeah, we again would just like to reiterate just how much it meant to us, for everybody who was out searching, who shared things on social media, who were praying, like donating, supporting our family, organizing like separate search parties, just sending us messages of support, just showing that you cared. It was so touching, and it got us through a horrible couple weeks in our lives.
We give like a special thank you to one of the searchers, Ashley, who found one of his shoes and alerted CPS. Again, we want to thank the Calgary Fire Department. You guys risked your lives to locate her son. It was in a low oxygen environment. You went in there and you brought him home for us. We're like deeply grateful for that.
His story has done so much. It has raised awareness about how complex autism is. It really is a spectrum, and it's going to bring about change in the system where there might have been weaknesses. I mean, to leave behind that kind of impact is amazing. I mean, isn't that what it's all about, to be on Earth, is to leave behind some good?
The autistic community has been truly wonderful, and it just really highlighted that we're not alone. Part of his legacy is going to be this like collective knowledge that everybody's gained from this, and like how to be accepting of someone's limitations like that, and being willing to help, being able to do what you can to help at their level. There's some special mentions as well that we'd like to make. One is for Becky, who ran the Find Parker YYC Facebook group. She took over a lot of the social media side of things from the family. It became really overwhelming for us, and she ran with it and maintained that for us, and that whole community, and was organizing it and just helping get the message across was absolutely amazing. And then there was Nick from the searchparker.org website, who ran and maintained the site, so all the community searchers had a place that they could mark where they've been, what still needs to be checked, and a way to coordinate that. The support that we've seen and heard from others has been absolutely amazing. Like, all these people that we're thanking, we have no connection with them. They did this out of the goodness of their hearts. They wanted to help, and that's truly amazing. Yeah,
I mean, I think we all witnessed what a compassionate community can accomplish.
The two of us, Parker's parents, went out and we visited both those memorial sites, and we spent a long time there, cried a lot, and read through all the messages that were there, saw the different art and chalk work that was there. One of the things that really stood out to me was the blue heart with the headphones around it. We were just like, that's Parker. That one.
It's one where the kid's on a light up the carpet, flying in the sky with his headphones.
Yeah, and then the other one that was again, it kind of summarized how we were feeling, but just also highlighting how the community was feeling. We saw this one chalk sign that said, "Sorry we couldn't find you fast enough," and that one that one hit really hard. Then one of the other things that we had noticed, and it was just we were awestruck by, was at each of the sites that we're at, just the steady flow of people coming and going, paying respects. Families, again, people all walks of life, just coming to pay their respects, have a moment there, and then kind of leaving, and then it was steady when we went out, which was just unbelievable. So what we've kind of just decided on, kind of for a public memorial for Parker, is go on an adventure walk.
Yeah, so this upcoming weekend, basically we are inviting people to participate wherever they live. There's no set place, there's no set time. The whole idea is to walk in his memory, to have a little adventure of your own.
Well, Parker, we're really sad that you're not here with us, but you created an incredible community around you who is looking out for you, and they'll be looking out for others like you, and they'll be a lot more accommodating and accepting of kids just like you. And we're proud to be your parents and be on this journey with you. And it reminds me of a quote, Parker, from one of your Disney shows. If ever there's a tomorrow and we're not together, there's something you must remember. You're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. But the most important thing is, even if we're apart, I'll always be with you.
Parker, we're so thankful that we got to be your parents. That we were part of your journey. And we're so proud of you and the impact that you're leaving the world with. You made a difference, buddy. So, some kids like Parker, they use a tablet to communicate. So I have Parker's talker here. And I just have one final message that we'd like to share with him.
We love you, Parker. Always.
that's it. Let me just double check. Yes, they've ended the stream, guys. I'm gonna get copyright strike just a minute. That is so wildly inappropriate. I apologize. Okay. Everybody can hear me? In time to say I'm a mess. I don't really see, the need in continuing the conversation. I think it was beautiful and needed for the community for sure. And if you kept it together through that, good for you. I did not. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Look for the live stream tomorrow with Belinda. It's going to be a little later in the day. She asked for 8:30, 9 o'clock her time. So until then, rest easy, Parker, and we'll keep watching for updates and for the change that we all know that he's going to bring. So thanks again, everybody, for being here. Have a great night.